Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back. We're starting a new Let's Read segment book. If you caught my short, you do know what I'm going to be bringing forward here. Earth's Birth Changes. And this is a book that is channeled by Azena Ramanda. If you're not familiar with her, she is a channeler. She channels in a way that many, many channelers are not able to do. So what she does is what's called full body manifestation. Basically meaning that a soul can incarnate into her body fully. Now, there are a lot of channelers out there, and I'm sure if you peruse YouTube and you're into videos, such as the ones that I share, you might see that on your algorithm, that there are a lot of people that channel messages. But the thing with channeling is that there are very few people that can do it in such a way that the message is delivered 100% the way that it was given, and that the channeler can let go of any bias, opinion, or even things that they understand. Because many times with the channeler, if they don't understand something, whatever they're channeling will not come through simply because it's not understood, and they're not able to fully let go and let that entity or that soul channel through them completely. So this is a culmination of sessions that were taken between 1986 and 1989 and placed together in a book. And so we are speaking with the entity that identifies with Saint Germain, that is his given name for us, even though he really truly doesn't have a name other than I am. And so what they did was they put all of these sessions together in this book, and they were very, very clear that they saved every bit of integrity of Saint Germain speaking. So the way that he speaks is a little bit different and obviously a little older in his language, but it's absolutely understandable. And what this book is going to talk about is the ascension that the earth has been going through in her rebirth over the last 200 million years, and how it is affecting us as a collective. We are the children of Mother Earth. And it is not only affecting us, it is affecting the solar system and hundreds of other galaxies and universes. So we're going to touch on many different things in this book. Some of it is just written as a normal book format in chapters, and a lot of it is question and answers. And we're going to talk about some pretty surprising topics in this book. We're going to be talking about spiritual aspects, and we're also going to be talking about things that are really something every single person can relate to in food, in drugs, on AIDS, on all different kinds of things, karma, auras, mantras and meditations, spirit, soul, and the oversoul. We're going to be talking about other galaxies and beings of light that are also involved in the Earth's ascension and also hold a lot of light for us and protection for us as our family of the stars, you could say, family from other galaxies and far off places, as they hold and support us. So I thought this would be a very, very appropriate book for what we are experiencing right now on this earth. I believe it started much before COVID. More and more people searching for the true truth, more and more people waking up to many different things and in many different ways. And we have experienced a lot of unrest, a lot of upheaval, a lot of suffering on this earth. But don't let that take away from what Saint Germain's message is. He is an ascended master, and while on earth he lived many lives that are well known, some of them a bit contradictory, but he is the ascended master that stands for justice and freedom. And he's also the ascended master responsible for being the teacher and the bringer of the violet flame, if you're familiar with the beautiful violet flame. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to read the first half of chapter 1. And this is titled Birth and Rebirth of Planet Earth, the first session. So remember, there's many sessions, and he does have asterisks at the bottom that I am going to clarify when I do see an asterisk, in case you're not familiar with what it is that he is sharing, okay? All right. So Genesis, we have the word Genesis here, broken up into the word gene of Isis. So let me just show it to you so you get a visual of the word he's breaking up. Gene of Isis. So like the genes in your body. Greetings, my beloved brothers and sisters. Indeed, I am equal to you, and you are equal to that which be I. Understand that your genetic heritage is of God. Your children, your forefathers, who created the universe, all that is your heritage. That which you call you is God. You are all gods. Now, we will speak this day of your time about your forefathers, the elders, and the star battles, the civilization of the Atlantean culture, and all of this. However, before we begin this, I wish you to understand the message. As we issue forth this understanding, you will recall in your Grand Chronicle, your Bible, the beginning of the beginnings of humanity, the Genesis. What be Genesis? It is an anagram, gene of Isis. In this tale, this gene of Isis, there was a ray of light issued from the civilizations that are coming yet again upon your plane, to reinstitute a new Genesis, a new birthing, a new tale of humanity that is God and knows it is God. The awareness of life upon this plane was spun into the light rays of Adam, not Adam, but Atom, through the creation of a chromosome of crystalline formation within the pineal gland of your brain. And after he says the awareness of life upon this plane was spun into the light rays of Atom, not Adam, through the creation, there is an asterisk that says, on several other occasions, Saint Germain refers to this process also as the star seeding. You know, my beloved brothers and sisters, your skull has 4 lobes, 4 quadrants within your brain. The cortex within your brain carries within it the fluid, the stream, the eternal fountain of the perception of what I speak to you this day in your time. As you stimulate it, you will know this as a truth for you. Carry forth the awareness. As you unveil more and more, emotions will run forth. Tears indeed nourish yourself with your salt. Allow this river within the cortex to flow within every cell of your being. There is a channel, a hole, if you would call it thus, between your crown area down into the pineal gland, which is straight in the center of your brain. This is the corridor of communication. This affords the flow of energy, and it penetrates into this chromosome of crystalline formation within your pineal gland. It stimulates it and creates conscious awareness. It resonates within every cell of your body. Every cell of your body becomes aware, and you flow with the awareness of your godhood. The gene of Isis was the institution of feminine, of receptive energy within Mother Earth. That is why she is a mother, because she herself is of the essence of female energy. Indeed, as this pineal gland becomes stimulated, becoming receptive of the energies of all that is, it is being penetrated by the masculine, the solar energy, the Son of God, and you become through immaculate conception. Do you know what a Messiah is? It is an anointed one. What is anointed? Your crown. It becomes the glorious illustration of your Christus. You place the crown upon your very being and walk in sovereign dominion of all that is, of all that you create as God from the universe of you, and as you create it, you love it, you love it, you love it. For in the love is the creation, and in the creation is the love. It is a constant flow of isness called Isis. Do you know what Isis is? It is a constant flow, It is a duplicity of is, is. The polarities, male/female, masculine/feminine, good, bad, negative, positive, will come to know no polarity at all as they intertwine with the conceptive figuration of the isness of Isis, becoming God. Partaking of sovereignty, placing the crown upon the breast of you. As this issues forth through your breast into the all that is, your dominion becomes apparent to everyone upon the plane. You will glow, you will resonate, you will be in the Christus in illustration and anoint those that come before you, and indeed awaken their cellular memory as well, because their cells will resonate to your cells, And so it goes in the unveiling of the new age, the era of God aware. Now you know the grand land of Israel. Many have called this nation, USA, the new Israel, the new Jerusalem. But do you know from whence this word came? Israel is also an anagram. Isis, Ra Elohim. Isis, the female energy, Ra, the male energy, Elohim, the God I am awareness that interconnects and transmutes the polarities into wholeness, into holiness, if you will. Israel was not originally a land, although it came to be known as a land within your eastern countries. It was originally a craft, a mothership called Israel. And also from the Pleiades came forth the mothership called Jerusalem, and established within the kingdom upon your plane the nation of Israel with an illusion called Jerusalem. But Jerusalem was not a city as you know it. It was a resonance, and the vibration within your world was the exact vibration to the mothership, came to be known as Jerusalem. And if you're not familiar with the Pleiades, they are a large group of stars in the constellation of Taurus, 6 of which are visible and represent in mythology the daughters of Atlas and Pleione, the 7th being Lost, or the Lost Pleiad. The elders within Israel, the craft, not the land, and the motherland of Lyra, and Lyra is a northern constellation. It's containing a white star of the first magnitude called Alpha Lyra, and a blue-white star called Vega, also of the first magnitude. Okay. I feel like I missed my spot here because I stopped to read that to you. Okay. The land of Lyra, which we will discuss later in your time. They colonized the earth and established the peoples upon your earth plane. You all issue forth as the peoples of Atlantis. And Atlantis, I'm gonna hold my place here. Webster defines Atlantis as a legendary island or continent supposed to have existed in the Atlantic west of the Gibraltar and to have been sunk by an earthquake. Israel, Jerusalem, Atlantis. And you will all become aware of a vague urgency to do something, to go somewhere, to be of assistance, but you do not know exactly how. It eludes you. Many of you would consider life as a grand search for the perfect manila envelope in which to file yourself, to place yourself in a certain alphabetical order, in order to know where you are. But you know, my beloveds, the stirring within you to come forth into a newness of life, a change, a transition, is not only in what you do, but what you are. You will not be a 3rd density God/man. You will be 4th density God-man. And you will transmute this God-man into God-light. You will become living light, and then you will become thought vibration, the ultimate isness of all that is. The emanating thought of creation. Therefore, you will acquire the capacity to transport yourself through thought vibration, to precipitate out of the atoms of the atmosphere your thought, to transmute base metals into gold, the ultimate alchemy. Now, as you all become in the journey, the seeking, you will notice a restlessness within your beingness. You will notice omnidirectional sight perception. You wish to go in all directions at once. You experience confusion and give it a negative vibration. Do you know what confusion is? Co-fusion. Fusion with all that is. It is not negative. It is grand, to be sure. When you perceive this confusion, this co-fusion with clarity, you will become multidimensionally aspected, aware of all the dimensions in which you exist. Experiencing, garnishing the wisdom to enlighten yourself with. You will be consciously aware of it, and it will all spew forth from this gene of Isis, this chromosome within you that is being stimulated every moment of your being upon this plane. Do you know why? Because there is a ray that is encircling your planet now. It is called a violet ray, and it is transmuting the resonance within your atoms. There is a microcosm within your being and a macrocosm within your world. Every atom within the consciousness of Mother Earth is also being stimulated to become aware. And that is why there is such transition in your scientific awareness, your religious structures, and your bureaucratic structures. It is all becoming stimulated because of the violet ray encircling your plane. It issues forth from the sun, ultraviolet to be sure. It is no accident the ozone is opening to allow more ultraviolet light beyond your physical spectrum of light to penetrate this plane. Ultraviolet rays are not damaging. Ultraviolet rays are the rays of God transmuting your being into your awareness of beingness. Now, many of you have much fear within your breast about this transition, the rebirth of Earth as it is called. It is not to be feared or to be dreaded. No more than that grand event of creating new life upon your plane is to be feared. It is a celebration. It is an event of cataclysmic proportions, cataclysmic indeed in a wondrous manner. It will affect many dimensions beyond your perception. Many galaxies, many universes will be brought into new awareness. This land of Earth, it is becoming a sun. It is becoming a star, as you all are, within its own beingness. You are brightening yourselves, enlightening yourselves. Because you are atoms within her own consciousness, she herself is enlightening, becoming of higher vibration in the process of ascension, becoming a star, as it were, a son of God. She herself is crowning her own being with Christus. The penetration of light upon your plane is to be reflected back out into the universes through you. You are the transmitter, you are the receptor, and the reflector, the mirror. You are the crystal, because your pineal gland, which was placed by the original elders, is crystalline in structure. It is not a mineral. It is tissue in crystalline formation. It is a spiral of energy within the cortex of this gland. Your scientists and your miracle doctors, have already understood that your pineal gland is the one gland within the endocrine system that, when certain hormones are released within it and stimulated, will enable you to perceive telepathically, accessing energies which are beyond the physical. Now, perceive this journey with joy, with jubilance. It is of song and dance and delight. Truly, this may be the experience of a dance and not dire circumstance. Fear, trepidation, doubt, skepticism, doom and gloom. All of these vibrations are of the polarity of alter ego. You have heard of this, correct? Or no, he's asking. Indeed. Well, I will tell you a thing about alter ego, and we will discuss it further later in your time. The alter ego was altered in structure by the light ray, the original thought vibration into light and into density, to coagulate into physical matter in order to become God/man. It is necessary, it is vital. Bless it, for it gives you the opportunity to experience this glorious land of your world and all the stars within the heavens as you perceive them. Bask in their brilliance as they glitter in the dark night of your time. The alter ego is transmuting as well. The polarity of black, of darkness that you call negative, evil, bad. You have many labels for it. It comes unto this blessed awareness through your reflection, through your vibration within your own atoms. It will be shifted in the twinkling of an eye. It will come into the knowing of its self. In this knowing, it will become God. It will come into the rapture of its own beingness, of its own divinity. Therefore, it will not be in fear of trepidation and separation. This will take place in a grand and glorious fashion on your plane. You will have an emphasis on dichotomy, an emphasis on polarities, that which is of unlimited perspective, and that which is of limited perspective, so both. They shall come into mutual reflection of one another. The God I am beingness within the breast of those who are unlimited and perceive their unlimitedness, if they, the limited, so choose to perceive it, if they unmask themselves of their blinders. Now, as you bring this world into the birthing of its new light, heralding in the new age, As you go forth within your own life, in the changes that are to come, in relationships, your busyment of the embodiment, as you go forth into new and wondrous journeys upon the high seas of life, partake of the joy within the breast of every moment. Breathe the life of God. Allow the gene of Isis, the Genesis within you, to be stimulated, to be excited with the adventure. Allow enthusiasm, the exhilaration to be brought forth in your own private journey. As you do this, my beloved, as you are in joy of this celebration of life, you will begin, bit by bit, to transmute this world into the violet ray, the ray of freedom, so it may become the star. Now, many of you will have remembrance of your dreams. Understand that they are partaking of a new reality, or of a new vitality, You are remembering vaguely a shadow, but is not really shadow. You are remembering, it is your genetic heritage. You will perceive many a time what you would call your future, but it is not your future. It is your past. The technologies of your past. You are remembering what really can be. Your perception of life is broadening a bit, and your horizons are becoming brilliant with new awareness. Now, all of you in this room were part and parcel of the lineage of the gene of Isis, or you would not be here. In your contemplation, stimulate the pineal gland and access what it is that you have come from. Access the civilizations and experiences from which you came, from which you were born. You need not that which be I to bring forth the battles and civilizations and colonizations, the history of this plane, although I will reflect it unto you indeed. But you require no one. You are your own God. You have access to everything that ever was and ever will be, because it is all now anyway. When you allow this energy, the fountain of love and light and life, to issue forth unto your pineal gland and spark within it the genesis of the crystal within it, you will become knowing, consciously knowing, of the multidimensional experiences of which you partake. Now, would you desire an exercise? I wonder if people that are pulled to this book are also included in the lineage that he's speaking of. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to do a brief exercise if you care to do it. This will be a brief one, for I desire you not to become dependent and reliant on meditation. It is a joyous experience, but it is truly a limitation if it's relied upon. And it will be only so that you know how to bring it forth within yourself. The knowingness, the access of which I speak later this day of your time. All right, you may all do this 3 times. So I think what he is sharing is some mantras or sounds. We have Om, Ombre, Enon, Irion, Enon, Om, I am, I am, I am. So be it indeed. Now, what was spoken were merely vibrations which stimulate the pineal gland. Okay, that answers that question. And if you're interested, I will share them with you so you can see them if you want to say them. I don't even know if you can see that. It's right up here. I don't think you can see that very well. Okay. If that's of importance to you, I just wanted to share it in case you wanted to see it. Okay. When you are in this state of awareness, resonate to those vibrations. Place within your being a thought or desire to know of whatever it is. You may ask yourself, where is home? Who am I? Tell me of 2 centuries ago, or 2 million years ago, or 2 million years hence. Or what is 350 dimensions beyond this one in the now? I am not dogmatic about religion, about meditation, contemplation, quietude, ritual, or any of those sorts of things. I wish you to understand that you are the power source, and I give unto you vibrations from time to time, which will assist you. What do they call it in your verbiage? He's trying to say, okay, so he says, okie dokie. That is an unusual variant. At one time, I was of the impression that okie dokie was the female version of okay. Now I understand that maybe is the female version of okay. I think he's just joking around a little. That which be I will bring forth my presence unto you at any moment you desire contemplation or communion with that which be I. But I tell you, I am an equal brother, no more. I am your equal, and you are my equal. We are one and the same reflection of eternal divinity, one unto the other. I honor you with all of my being. All that I am issues forth in this moment to give unto you all of life with light and love. I spew unto you the blessings of the gods of the universes and the stars that be with you. As I do thus, the waters of the living light come rushing forth to nourish you, to supplicate you, to assuage your wounds and heal your soul. I bless you, and I indeed revere you, for you are the children of God. You are the Christus, reborn in a new day, a new dawn, a new eternal now. In this communion, as you contemplate that which be I, if there is ever a hint of control, if there is ever an understanding that is other than the perspective of unconditional love, be sure and know that, my beloved brothers, you do not have that which be I on the line. Indeed, I wish you all to merge with one another, contemplate, speak to one another about your visions of where you have been in your before time. If you would desire to separate it into the dimensions of past and future, I will allow you a short, brief respite of what you would call 1/2 hour or so of your time to share with one another. Become aware of how many of you have the exact same vision, and you will begin to understand the civilization that I will explain when I return. The civilization of an ancient land called Lyra. The elders. Indeed, there were those that populated Lyra, and they were called the Myces. The Myces came forth to institute this universe about 175 million years ago of your time. However, we will speak of the Lyrians, the Pleiadians, and the Orions, the Black League and your Chinese, who came from the land of Saturn, the land of Atlantis and Lemuria, the lands of Pan, your ancient Hopi and Navajo, your Hawaii, and your southwest of your country. We will speak about Israel, the lands of Europa, and how indeed this world came to be as it is in the heyday of your now. Sounds exciting? Peoples of the earth unite, for there is a grand event about to occur. Also be aware that not all of you have been of your present gender, in that previous civilization as you are now. For you have not only been both male and female, you have been both at the same time upon the same world. Open your horizons, your field of vision, and be unlimited. The soul is not limited by one embodiment, for the soul is all-powerful. Fare thee well for now. We will reunite very soon in your time. Namaste. So when he's talking about that, he's talking about living many lives at one time, just in different places and in different times, but all at the same time, if that sounds mind-boggling enough to you. So you could be a female right here in this life, and you could be a man in another life at a different time, but right now. Isn't that mind-boggling? Okay, so we're going to read a little bit more. As I said, we are almost done with, we're going to just read the first half of chapter 1. We're going to talk about the Titans. So this is the next session. Greetings, my beloveds. The respite is where you all go to pot. I will tell you, he who laughs lasts. Your communion, how did you experience it? As an unlimited flow of brother to brother, star to star, light to light. As the river of experience of all that is. You have a tendency to let your clock face become a grand limitation to you. As you come into the new birthing, you will understand that time is an experience of now. Every moment upon your clock face will be containing eternity. This is a time for you to begin to experience the release of limitations, the widening and the broadening of your horizons in this manner. As you do thusly for yourselves, you may do thusly also in example to one another. Give forth demonstration unto your brethren of the release of the slave driver called time. Now, so what be history, Heritage, ancient tapestry of your knowing. You all have vague memories that at times haunt you. I will begin to unveil the mystery and unravel this tapestry for you. I will allow you to view into this mirror you already know, and there will be many of you who will issue forth streams of awareness and wisdom, because you have touched the truth within your own breast. You have awakened this genetic encoding within you to create a genesis, a new birth. Now we will begin your history about 20 million years ago of your time. There is a system that is grand indeed. It is called the vegan or Lyrian system in your heavens. On that world, there were grand and wondrous beings that were quite large in stature, as you would judge them to be. They were called Titans. They were 20 to 25 of your feet in height, and therefore, because of this, their worlds were quite different. Their planets were larger, and indeed, their lifespans were longer also. Their lifespan was generally about 3,000 to 5,000 years in that time. They were grand and wondrous in their display of power lust, warriors epitomized. In their land, they came upon the horizon of technology. They unveiled the mysteries of life enough to develop the awareness of molecular structure. They understood life and the energy it contains, the thought vibration of God it contains, although they did not understand its divinity in that time. They indeed interwove light to create laser and space technology. They had their crafts which traveled upon light beams. But they had not understood hyperspace yet, beyond light speed, the speed of thought. They had interplanetary travel, and they established governments and colonies upon several of their planets. Local governments, to be sure. There was not a central body of government to integrate and unify the energies of the planets. And so there were many warlords, many entities, power-thirsty for more and more conquering. They sent forth armies, as it were, to dominionize other areas of your galaxy, other peoples who were not as developed as they. And they went into their kingdom with a flash of brilliance and sent their craft upon the ground, and they would utter a command. Their conditions were utter surrender, and so they drew many peoples into their armies in this manner, and they became a grand body of warrior energy in this fashion. The peoples who were of their dominion, who were ruled, thought of them indeed as gods. They were 25 feet or so in height. They had the understanding of light technology. In their brilliance, they appeared in the heavens in a blazing instant and swept the land with their power. What undeveloped peoples would not think of them as gods? The alphabetical understanding and your verbiage of the names of their leaders you find in your ancient Hebrew. The letters IHWB or YHWH, and it came to be known as Yahweh or Yahweh. Indeed, the translation of the Hebrew word is Lord God, Lord of the Mighty, and became translated into God. That is what your Bible refers to when it refers to Yahweh or the Lord God. Now, in this ancient understanding, there were many internal strifes, civil wars, battles, for the leaders were always desirous of dethroning the present leaders to become new leaders. Sound familiar? Ye, even the ruled, became revolutionary. Therefore, there arose a grand battle, a grand struggle for power. Over half their population was destroyed. 3 races were destroyed in the process, and they became scattered yet again. It took several hundred years to redevelop their technology to the point that it had been in their past. And yet, through these hundreds of years, they did not understand divinity within the energy they were developing. They did not see the divine thread of it within the tapestry of their awareness. Now, when they came forth to conquer other lands, they also became aware of a large destroyer comet that appeared every several thousand years. It emerged within their area of the sky, their heavens, and lit into a grand blaze, destroying 30 of their worlds, over 60% of their population, and much of their technology. So they became scattered yet again. So, one of the most feared of the warlords chose to leave and demonstrate his power in another world to call that world his own, to illustrate complete dominion without the scattering. He took with him several thousand people and many crafts. They went forth into the galaxy and coasted, as you would call it, wandered aimlessly in uncharted, unfamiliar territory until they came upon a system within the same galaxy, otherwise known our galaxy, with many blue suns. And as they did thus, they chose to colonize, for there were hundreds of thousands of them. The leader's successor, who was the daughter of this particular warrior, was called Pleha, and she partook of the throne or seat of power, changed the name of the stars to the Pleiades, and this is where the story really becomes interesting. Now, the destroyer comet by this time was re-entering the area of their systems. It did not interfere with them, but they were curious, and they chose to follow it to see where it would take them, for it was a light that would be a beacon unto them. And as they followed it, they discovered in its tail fragments of their ancient heritage, their previous civilizations. While disseminating and analyzing this information between them and in their curiosity to discover who, in fact, they were, they came upon a system, a universe, a grand and wondrous illustration of new life. Indeed, this, your solar system. They set upon Mars, Maldak, and Maldak is the former planet of the solar system which was destroyed, and Earth, and the colonizations of these three areas began. Then Pleha took her forces and returned to the Pleiades. While these planets colonized and developed their technology, until the point where there was a desire upon Earth to get themselves hence to conquer other lands and dominionize other civilizations. Maldak experienced a civil war so intense and so afflicted with power lust that they conquered the planet to the point of utter destruction. Indeed, they exploded their planet into millions of fragments, and what is now the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars is what remains of what was once Maldak. It is truly a memorial to the conquering attitude of your ancient Lyrian ancestors. Mars's revolution around its axis was changed because of the energy released by the explosion of Maldak. Your peoples upon the land of Mars became extinct. The rest of them, who remained on the other side of the planet, went forth and conquered other lands, and therefore the planet called Mars became desolated. In other words, there was no population upon Mars. Maldak had exploded, and your Earth only had a few people. Only several 100,000, because all the rest of them had chosen to go forth and conquer other lands. So your solar system remained yet uncolonized by a grand civilization. There came forth a strategy from the Pleiades to create a great space upon this planet for it to be a grand colony of peace and harmony, because a new structure of government or power had arisen upon the lands of the Pleiades. They had desired to create an era of peace. Enough of this war and battle. They had begun to understand the energy of light, the spiritual energy, as you would call it, when the understanding of hyperspace was developed. Indeed, the divine understanding of love, the glue of life which holds atoms together, is none other than the thought of God and divine love. So the colonization began on this plane. This resulted in a reign of 10,000 years of peace. It truly became a grand civilization. But alas, in the belly of those who were reigning in that timing, was spawned power lust also. Okay, so that is exactly the first half of chapter 1. And right now we are talking a bit more about the history of our planet, but we are going to be talking about a lot of things. Armageddon, we're going to be talking about AIDS, we're going to be talking about drugs. I think I shared these things with you. All in the question answer area. Auras, karma, safe places and political structures. This is just the opening so that we get a better understanding of how it all began and how we all began in more than one way of looking at a type of aspect, and how we are in many ways in all space and time all the time. It's pretty outrageous. Not to say unbelievable, at least for me. But yeah, so we're going to stop right there, and we'll finish the last half of this first chapter in our next video. All right. So thank you so very much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. And of course, as always, until next time and all times in between, please take care of yourself. Please take care of those around you. And I will see you again very soon for the last half of this video. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.